Hello everyone, welcome to the Advanced React.js with Firebase database event. Let me point out a few things first. So we'll be recording this session and taking some screenshots as well. If you can switch your video cameras on, that would be awesome. If you have any question, you can unmute yourself and ask us or use the chat box. Although there are limitations in prices availability, besides from Australia and New Zealand, you can still receive the certificate and the material that we covered today at the end of this event. Before we move on, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Tira. I'm Vice President of Developer Student Club. I study at Victoria University, Footscray campus, and I'm at my second year in Bachelor of Information Technology. You guys may already know, Developer Student Club aims to help people learn new technologies and Google technologies to help them with the annual solution challenge from Google. And next, we'll have our team to come up and briefly introduce themselves. Would our team members introduce themselves?
Hi everyone. Test. Can you hear me? Test. Hi everyone. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes,
Yep.
Didi.
Okay,
Yes.
cool. Yeah. So, hi everyone. My name is Dedi. So I'm the president of the DSC Lead. Currently, I'm studying Master of Applied IT, and I am my last year and first semester. And then now I would like to move to our next core team, which is Nimasha. Hi, Nimasha.
Hi guys, I'm Nimasha. I'm the secretary of the Developer Student Club right now, and I'm also currently studying at Victoria University at Footscray Park. I'm in my second semester of my last year in Master of Applied IT, and I'll be the new Google DSC lead after BJ, of course. And next we can move on to, I think, do we have Amanpriya?
Hi guys, sorry I can't turn my camera on. I'm Amanpriya. I'm treasurer of the SCU, and I'm also in the last semester of in IT. Yeah, that's all.
So let me just recap. Amanpriya is our treasurer of DSCVU, and she's also studying with us. And moving on to Tara.
I already introduced myself, so
Yep.
we'll have to pass on to BJ to reintroduce himself as some participants already came.
Yes, I have already introduced myself. Again, it's me, Vijay, and I'm the former DSC lead. And I pass it on to Thera. You can introduce the speakers now. I mean the
All right.
participants now.
All right. So any participant would like to come up and introduce themselves for a bit?
So, just a second. Hi everyone, I'm Avinash, and I have finished my Master's of Technology in Software Engineering from Federation University, and currently I'm doing my professional year. I'm also located in Melbourne, and I'm following you guys after the previous week session on React. Thanks.
Nice. Well, if anyone else would like to introduce, you can introduce yourself. Otherwise, we can move on with our event. So, seems like no one wants to introduce themselves. Okay, let's start with our event. BJ, you can start.
Yes. So I'm the speaker for today's event, and I'm gonna take you through all these concepts. And first, I will start with React.js concepts. React hooks, higher order components, and all these agendas might be here and there, and I will tell them all about what is it about and how we implement that when moving through the project as well. And so yeah, that's it. I will start with React.js concepts, React hooks, higher order components. I will also configure the Firebase in the Firebase console, and then connect to our project in the local machine. And we'll also go through basically the crude application in the Firebase. We will create a crude application using the Firebase and React.js. And we'll also deploy the application to the Firebase hosting using Firebase hosting. And yes, and then we'll finally play a quiz and wrap up the session. Tara, can you go to the next slide? Yep. So what we are building today is this one. This is basically a home page of a Linktree application. What we can see here is on the top, we have a profile image. And once we click on the new link, well, one new card will be shown where we can enter our URL and title. For example, what basically we are building is that Linktree is a kind of the application where we can put all our social media platform. For example, I do have different social medias and different platform where I personally connect with. For example, I have LinkedIn, I have Facebook, I have Instagram, I have Twitter. So what Linktree provides is that it helps us to put all those links in a single page, so that if we share, so that we can share it with our friends, and then with that single link, they can know about all our social media links. That's the thing. And Tara, next slide. So this will be our home page, and this will be our profile page, and where people can click on the Facebook button, and then they can go to my Facebook profile, Instagram button, and then they can go to my Instagram profile. Next slide, Tara. Okay, so basically this is it. I'm going to share my screen and then start building the application. Okay. Can you see the screen?
Yes.
Okay.
It's visible.
It's visible. So what you need to do is that first you need to open your VS Code. I hope everyone has opened it, and people who have been following us in the last event, they know about VS Code. I hope Node.js is installed as well on the laptop, and then we can start working on it, right? So what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna just open a new folder. Open 8 folder to workspace. Okay, I'm gonna open a new folder. And then open my desktop. Linktree new. Oh, it's already been opened. I'm gonna add a file. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is that, okay, I'm gonna open this folder in the VS Code integrated terminal. And how you can do that is that you just need to open the VS Code, and then what you need to do is that you need to type the control sign on your laptop plus the tilde sign. And this will open an integrated terminal on your VS Code. I put it in the chat as well. Just type control and the tilde sign, then one new integrated terminal will pop up in your VS Code. And all we need to do is that we just Have all of us installed Node.js and VS Code and all these things ready on our laptop? If not, please let us know. And I hope everyone has installed it. And all you need to do is that npx create React app. Let me make it a bit bigger. Okay, npx create React app, and then we need to give our project name. Okay, project name could be, let's put it Linktree. Linktree-new. And what it does is that it creates a new React.js boilerplate application on this project folder. Okay. And in the meantime, if you don't have Node.js and installed in your laptop, Node.js npm, please do let us know. Diddy?
Yes.
You have all the command options to install the Node.js and npm ready, right? You can just let the participants know on the chat. You can paste them on the chat.
Yeah, we'll do it.
Yeah. And you can also provide a link to open, the link to download the VS Code. If anybody haven't. And in the meantime, let me go through one of the React UI library we'll be using in the application. So we'll be using design. And to open the design, you just need to go to the, let me put it in the chat. You just need to go to this URL. You can see it in your chat. Okay. Just go on the chat and then put on this URL on your website, and you can go to the design official website. And what design does is that they have, it's basically a UI library, and they have UI library for React, Vue, and others as well. And what you can do is that, so these are all the components ready-made available for us. What we can do is that we just need to click on one of the component. As you can see here, let me make it a bit bigger. I guess you can see it now. What we need to do is that we just need to go to the code, and then we just need to copy paste the code to our platform. That's it. So we need to import the button from the design first, and then we need to use it we can use it like this way. Button type, like the normal component in React. Okay. That's the thing. And as you can see here, the application, the React boilerplate application has been installed. Okay, let me go to the application, and you can see here, what you can see here is that you can see the public folder where it has all the favicon and all the images available. You can also go to the source folder. This is the main folder, and it has app.js file, which is our main file, and it has app.test.js. We don't need all of that. Let me clear basically what we don't need. We don't need this app.test.js because we are not installing, we are not testing here anymore. We are not testing it. We can delete it, move to the trash, and we also don't need this logo.svg. We can delete that. We also don't need this setup test. We can delete that. Okay. We also don't need this web report vitals, we can delete that. And yes, basically that's it. And now let's, we also don't need all these in our app component. We can delete that. And let's put just app. Let's just display the app. And we don't have the logo anymore, so we can delete that. And in the index.js, we don't have the web report vitals. We just deleted that. We can delete that. And we can delete that as well. Yeah, that's it. So our app.js will be like this. Let me put it in the chat. Our app.js code will be like this now. And index.js will be like this now. Okay. And then we remove all the other components which are not necessary for us. Okay. And beside that, we also need to import, we also need to install some of the packages on our end. We can see here in the package.json file, React has, this boilerplate has already installed us React, React DOM, React scripts, web vitals. And beside that, we also need to install some of the packages on our own, which we are going to install now. And just quickly going through the project structure, public contains all the needed logos and index.html file. Source, we have the needed components. Okay, and then we have .gitignore. This is just to ignore ignore the dependencies and other files when we are pushing our code to the Git. And the package.json file, we have all the needed dependencies over here. Also our project name, version, dependencies, dev dependencies, and all these files. And then we have readme.md. This is basically something about our application, I would say. In Facebook, we do have about. In this project, we do have readme.md. When we push the project to Git or GitHub or other repos, then people can go to our readme.md file and they can know how to install this application, about our application and all these things. Yeah, basically that's it. And to install the application, let me go through. Okay. So what are the different application we need to install? We need to install this application on our end. I'm gonna putting it in the chat as well. So you can install all this application using the message I have sent on the chat. So we are installing Ant Design as I have shown you. This Ant Design, we are using all the components provided by Ant Design, and we are also using the Ant Design icons. Okay. We are also using the Ant Design icons, and so for that we install Ant Design, we install Ant Design icons, and we also need Firebase to connect with Firebase project that we are gonna set up in the Firebase console really soon. And then we also need to install the React Router DOM. It provides many components that are really handy for us, even the browser router that helps us to route between different pages in the React application. Okay. So we are installing all these applications now. And to set up the Firebase, okay. And yes. Now to set up the Firebase, we can go to Firebase console on Google. Firebase. Just type Firebase console on the Google and click on the console.firebase.google.com. As you can see here, the React application is still installing all the applications, and okay, all the application has been installed now. You can see it here. And in the Firebase, now let's set up the Firebase. So for that, we go to console.firebase.google.com. I'm going to put that on the chat as well. And all we need to do is that create a new project, add project. Okay. And we can put the project name. Let me put it Linktree new for now. Yeah. Let me put Linktree new for the project name. And I don't need the Google Analytics for the project. So I'm just closing it and then creating a new project. And okay, a project with the same project ID already exists. Let me create a new one. Linktree new. Continue. Create project. Can close this. And let us know if you are unable to follow in the meantime, so that we can help you. Okay, the Firebase project is ready. Now what we need to do is that just continue, and it will take us to the project, and it come up with, let me, okay, zoom a bit more. Okay, it comes up with different tools. For example, if we are developing using this Firebase application for the iOS application, then we click here, or Android or web. We are using it for the web, so we need to go to the web, and then we need to register our application. Let me put the application name as Linktree new. Okay, and I also need Firebase hosting for this application, so I will click that and then register the application. Okay. Now it tells me to install the Firebase node package manager. Okay, and I had already installed it. As you can see here, I installed and design icons, Firebase, and React Router DOM. So Firebase is already installed, so I don't need to do that. And all I need to do is I need to copy paste this code. Okay, and then I need to put it in my, I can put it anywhere. I will just put it in my source folder. I will create a new file, firebase.js, and then I will paste it here. Okay. Done. And then I'm going to click next. And then I need to install the this Firebase tools as well. I had already installed it. What you can do is that just copy this code and then install the Firebase tools. What it does is that Firebase tools is a node package, and what it does is that it will globally, this -j, it will globally install this Firebase tools package in our computer. Okay, so that we can access it from anywhere. And then I click next, and then these are the steps to deploy the application. We are not going to do it now, we'll do it later. So I'm just going to click continue to console. Okay, now we'll be using Firebase database for our application. So what I need to do is that I need to go to this real-time database. As you can see here, go to the real-time database, this one, click here, and then create the database. Okay, and it will ask me to where do I want to save this application. I can save this application. It's always best to save it in the nearest location possible. So for us, it's Singapore. I'm gonna click that and then click next. And then I'm for this project, I'm just gonna start it in test mode. So what it does is that it provides read and write functionality. So every user, anyone can enter to this database and read and write, do the read and write operation. And until when? It's about a month from now. So it will provide read and write access functionality for up to a month. Okay. And we can also log that, going to start in logged in mode so that only authorized user can access our database. But for this project, I'm just gonna put it in the test mode and click enable. Yes. So now you can see here. So this is our database URL, as you can see here. This is our database URL. All you can do is we'll need this later on. Okay, and how Firebase database works is that everything is in JSON structure, name and value pair. Everything is in object and it's in name and value pair. We will see that once we start importing these data from the real-time database. Okay, and once it's done, you can also see the rules here, and then you can update and modify the rules anytime you like. That's all. And so the database part is also done. Now we need to go to this authentication part. Okay. And then we need to click get it started. Yeah.
Sorry to disturb, but Avinash has a question, I think.
Yes, Avinash.
His hand is raised.
Yeah. So yeah, I was trying to enable, but it's not going to the next screen. Stuck.
In the authentication?
No, before that. Setting up a database.
Real-time database.
Yeah.
It should work. So you start with the test option.
Yeah, I'll share my screen.
Yes, sure.
Okay. So yeah, here. So I reached here.
Yep.
The test mode. If I enable, it will come to the same speed again.
Okay. Can you restart this? Refresh this page again.
Start from beginning.
Yeah.
I think it is created.
Yeah, it's already been created. Go to the rules, Avinash.
Rules. I think I'll do it again.
Okay. Yeah, it's been created. We can see it there. Able to load the files, but it should work, Avinash.
Yeah, that's okay then. Okay, thank you.
No worries. And then okay. Then what we need to do is that we need to go to this authentication tab. You can see the people's icon here. Go to the authentication. And then sign in method, authentication, sign in method, and then enable the Google authentication. You can do that going here and then clicking on enable. And then you need to provide a project support email that you can just put as your own email. That's it. And then click save. Okay, it's been enabled. So what are the things we did is that we came to the Firebase console, and then we started a new project. We also started a new database for that particular project. And then we also enable a Google authentication. That's all we did in this Firebase console. Okay. Now we go to the, let me go to the Firebase real-time database and double click here because we need this database URL as well. Go to the real-time database, double click here. Okay, copy this database URL and then go to the firebase.js that we just created inside the source folder. Okay, and then add one field. Let me edit at the bottom. Add one field inside the Firebase config, and that is.
Can you please wait for just 1
Yep.
minute? It's
Yep.
getting installed for me. So.
Sure. And if you need that config later on, you can just go to project setting. And then everything about the config is available here. You can go to config and then get the Firebase config from there. Okay. Roshan, done?
Yeah, it's done. Can you please start the step which were you doing from start? Like you copied something, right? That's
Yes. So then you go to real-time database. This one. And in the data section, you can see this. This is actually our database link where our database lies. This is actually the link for our database. So we just need to double click it, copy it, and then we need to include this in our Firebase config in the firebase.js file that we just created. And how we are going to edit is that we're going to put database URL and then put the link here. Is everyone able to follow me through?
yeah, I'm on same page as well.
Okay. So did you include the database URL as well?
Yeah.
Okay. Then that's fine. And this, although the Firebase official Firebase documentation provide us to follow this approach with initializing the app and then exporting the whole application, but sometimes it doesn't work. So I would like you to do some copy pasting of the code. Let me put it in the chat. So what you need to do is that in place of this initialize app, I have put it in the chat. You just import those 3 files. So what it does is that it helps us to, it provides the compatibility as well with the latest Firebase. So it works. Okay. And then we also need, yeah, that's it. And then what we do is that we have imported Firebase. So we'll use this Firebase to initialize our application. and then we're gonna export that Firebase. Export default Firebase. Okay. Let me put this on the comment as well. More set. Put that at the end of your code in the firebase.js file. Okay. And once it's done, now from this we'll be able to connect our Firebase with the project on the Firebase console that we just created, and then we can start doing the CRUD operations. Okay. Okay. Now let me close the chat. Yeah. Now what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna input some files because we will be building homepage. Let me show you the final application. Okay, so this is the final application. So what we're gonna do is that we're gonna build one homepage, as you can see here, and then we are also gonna build the profile page, which we can access through profile/SQLBJ. Okay, and here comes the different link, and if we click, this is the URL we are sharing with the friends, and it can be accessed by everyone. And if people visit this particular URL and they click on one of the link, they can go to our social media links. Okay, so we are building, one is the profile page and one is the home page. So for that we need to do routing. Okay, we need to do routing, and to do the routing in React, we need to use the React DOM router that we installed maybe sometime before, React router DOM. Okay, so we have already installed that. As you can see here in the package.json file, we have already installed the, oh, isn't it? Let me install it again. Let me go to the different file we need to install. If you haven't installed it yet, feel free to install them again. Okay, I'm gonna put that in the chat again. Chat. Okay, these are the different applications we need to install. And it's gonna take some time. And at the same time, if you have been stuck somewhere, please do let me know. Okay. Package.session. Okay. Let me. Okay. I installed it actually in a different folder. That's why it wasn't showing. Make sure you install it in the right folder. Okay. And we'll be heading to the index.js file, and we will start building from here. Okay, so from the React router DOM, what we need is that we need to import browser router for routing. Router from React router DOM. Okay, we need to install this component from React router DOM. And then what we're gonna do is that we're gonna wrap our whole application in this browser router. Okay. So what we did is that we imported browser router from the React Router DOM, and then we put everything, our application, inside the browser router DOM, inside the browser router, so that we can route between different pages. Okay. And let me it's still installing. Okay, I will put this code in the chat as well, so you can copy paste if you are not able to follow up with me. And once then the index.js file is done, we need then we go to app.js, and what we do is that we are not going to return this. What we're going to do is that we're going to return an empty fragment. Okay, we can also return a div, but we are just going to return just an empty fragment, and then we are going to put some data into it. Okay, and inside this, what we're going to do is that we're going to define different routes. Okay, so for that we also need let me quickly, okay, second. Okay, okay, to do that we need suite and router from browser router. Browser router is the same package we used inside the index.js, the same browse, same React Router DOM. And what we're going to do is that we're going to import suite component and then the route component from React Router DOM. Okay, and what we're going to do is that, let me quickly go to the source and then create a new folder. Let me call it pages, since we will be having two pages. One is the home and one is the profile. And inside the pages, let me create a new file called home.js for the home page, and another file called profile.js for the profile. Okay, so what we did is that we came to the app.js, we create a new folder called pages, and then we created two files, home.js and profile.js. Okay, and what we're going to do is that we're going to quickly create a home.js component. For that, let me call the name of the component home. So it's basically just a function, and it will return a div, and we'll just put home for now, and then I'm gonna export this component. Okay, and similarly I'm gonna copy paste this code in the profile, paste it, name it as, let's say it, name it as profile, and that's it. Okay, and what I'm gonna do is that, so what we did is that I'm gonna put it in the chat as well. We created a pages folder. Inside that we create home and profile file, and you can see on the chat that is the home component we made. Okay, and for the profile component, that is the profile component we made. Okay, now we're going to go to the app.js file. We're going to import those two files, that is home and profile. Let me import them. Import home from ./pages/home. Okay, so we can see here this app, we are in the app.js file, and app and pages are on the same level. So for the same label, we can go with ./. If it's in up label, we need to do /. Okay, we did ./, we went to pages, and inside the pages, we are inside the home folder. Okay, similarly for the profile, we're going to go inside the profile. Profile, and then inside pages, we import the profile.js file. Got it? Got it. That's it. And now what we're going to do is that we're going to create a routing for these two pages, so that if people come with localhost 3000, we'll render them to home. If they come up with localhost/profile, then we will take them to the profile page. So for that, we're going to use switch and route component. And inside the switch component, I'm going to create a new component called route. And if the path is just /, then we're gonna, and we also put it exact, so that it only looks for that exact path. And then the component is gonna be home. So if someone comes up with localhost 3000 port /, then we're gonna redirect them to the home page. Okay, similarly, if someone comes up with /profile, we're gonna direct them to the profile page. That's what we are doing here. Okay, and let me run the application as well. npm start to run the application. It will start in some time. Okay. It will take some time to start the application. And at the same time, what I'm gonna do is that, okay, it's been starting. Yes. So if we go to localhost 3000, for my case, it's 3001 port, because I had already another project running on 3000 port. Okay. For your case, I believe it's 3000 port. And if you go to just localhost 3001 or just /, then it will direct to the home page. And if you go to /profile, then it will direct to the profile page. You can see it here, right? And we are just displaying home and profile for the time being. That's what we did. Okay. And for the home component, because we need to develop all these, as you can see here, our final product, we need to develop all these. And for the CSS part, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to copy paste all the CSS part, and then I'm going to explain the code, and then I will do the React and Firebase side, so that we can finish everything on time as well. Okay, Didi.
Yes.
Can you drop the home page component, home skeleton component? Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
In the chat, yeah.
Okay.
And just to explain you, so what we are doing here is that if you go to this public folder, okay, if you go to the public folder, you will see index.html file. everything starts from here. Okay, first the browser loads this index.html file, and you can see here we have a div with id of root. Okay, so what our index, so it basically starts from the index.js file, and what it does is that it loads the index.html file. Okay, so how it does that is that we have imported our app component from here, this app component in the index.js file. Let me close all these so that it's not confusing for you. Let me close the Firebase. Let me close the welcome. Okay. So what we are doing here is that in the index.js, what you can see here is that it is loading all these things. It is basically, we are embedding everything, our app inside the browser router, and we are putting it in strict mode. That's all it does. And so what we are doing is that we are rendering this app component into the index.html file with div of root. So we are putting this app component inside the index.html, this div. That's what that index.js file is doing. Okay, and so what we do now, what we do next is that we have app, we embed that app in the this root div in the index.html file. Now what we do is that we will import everything inside the app component. So whatever we imported on inside the app.js file, whatever we put inside this return, it will be displayed on that root div. That's what we'll do. Okay, and yeah, basically that's it. You can go to this, you can download the home skeleton.js file that Daddy has posted on the chat. You can download that, and you can just copy all the code in this file and then put it in your home.js file, so that it will provide us all the CSS needed to build this site. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is that I will also paste that skeleton code, as you can see here. I'm gonna post that skeleton code as well, as you can see here. Just download the home skeleton.js file and copy paste the code in your home.js file. And what we have included here is just the CSS part, and we will keep moving with the React and Firebase part. Okay. That's it. And then, okay. So what we need to do now is that, let me make it a bit small. And okay, make it a bit bigger. Okay, so what we're going to do now is that we're going to import two components from React. They are two hooks, actually, use state and use effect, hooks from React. Okay, so these are the React hooks. What hooks provides is that before React 16.8, it's almost about 3 years ago. Before that, we used to build components using class component and functional component. As you can see here, this is just a JavaScript function. If you see an app.js file, or even in home.js file, this function home is just a JavaScript function. What it does is that it returns something. Okay, and whatever is written, it's written to the app.js, and whatever the app.js written, it returns to that public index.html inside this div. That's all it's been done, right? So let me close this. Let me go to the, we don't need this. Let me go to home, and then we're gonna use two different hooks, use state and use effect. Okay, so before React 16.8, we used to make class-based component, and class-based component used to provide us with inbuilt states. States are basically to store values. Okay, and class-based component used to provide that, but since we are building everything in functional component, and so to have those functionality from class-based component, we use React hooks, and I will tell you know how this works soon. So what we're gonna do now is that, okay, what we're gonna do now is that since we'll be getting a lot of links from the real-time database, so what we need is that we need a constant called links, and let me quickly write and tell you this links is state, and then we call it int array. Okay, so what we are doing is that we are defining a state called links. Okay, and how we are defining the state is using the use state hook. Okay, since the React function, this is just a React functional component. Functional component are just functions. Okay, since this functional component doesn't provide us state inbuilt, so we are using the hooks, okay, to get that functionality. And what we are doing is that how it works is that we first define a state, and then we define a function to change that state. So set links helps to change this, modify this state. Okay, and this is the default value that links will be having at the first. So we define a state called links, and this is a function to modify this state links, and then for the initial value, links will have an int array. Done. And now what else do we need? Okay, and we also need, as you can see here in the final product, we need a username. So what we're gonna do is that we're gonna just put one username, and if you go to the home page, you will see the skeleton, app skeleton as well. Okay, so let me go to the, this is too zoomed. Okay, the CSS isn't working. So what I'm gonna do now is that I'm gonna paste one bootstrap CSS CDN link that you need to put inside the index.html file so that the CSS works perfectly. Let me, yes. Index.html. Okay, so I'm putting it in the chat. What you do is that just copy this link. It is a bootstrap, MD bootstrap CDN link, and then put it inside the, I don't need that. Move to trash. I don't need that as well. Delete, move to trash. Okay. So we go to public folder, index.html, and then before the title, we just copy paste that link that I sent on the chat. So what we are copy pasting is just the bootstrap CDN file, okay, so that our CSS also works. Done. Okay. Now what I'm gonna do is that we have put the image as this file. Okay, so this is showing this image. So what we're going to do is that we're going to copy paste our own image from our files and then put it inside the project folder and then use it here. Okay, so for that, what I'm going to do is that I'm gonna quickly, let me go to my desktop, and then I do have my image over there. Yeah. And then I'm gonna copy paste that file over here. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is that I will create a new folder called images inside this source folder. Okay, and then I'm gonna put this, put my profile image inside that image folder. Okay, and then we'll import that image here. Import profile from // because it's one folder up. Then we access the images folder, and then we access the profile.jpg file. That's it. And then inside the source, we're gonna use our profile. Yeah, that's it. And now it should work. It's working, right? Yeah. And then what I'm gonna do is that, okay, the rule, okay. So I made one state that is links. I will need another state as well. And let's call that state, what should I call that? Let me put it down. Yes. Okay. I'm going to use another state as well. That is so card. And this is the function to modify that state. And then we're going to use the same use state hooks. And we'll put it as false at the start. So it's going to be a Boolean state. Okay. Done, done. And now what we're going to do is that we also need to include the because this we can see here the CSS is not working really well. It's because we have not included, let me make it a bit bigger, because we haven't we forgot to include the and design CSS file. We need to use that, and let me copy that, and for that .js as we need to include that inside the home.js file. Okay, let me put it inside in here. Okay, so I'm gonna put it in the chat as well. We forgot to import that because we are using the and design different components, and we'll be needing their CSS file as well to work it properly. Okay, now you can see it works properly. Done, done. And then once it's done, we do have links, two different states, link and soccer. What we're gonna do now is that okay, we put on the source as well. Okay, we are going to add one more component. Okay, and that component, if we click on this button, what we are going to do is that, for example, you can see on the already built site, if we click on this button, it shows up one component. Okay, and we can edit there, and then we can save it, and then that link will be displayed. Okay, so that's the thing. So what we're going to do is that we're going to make one component. If we click this button, that component will swap. We are going to make that. Okay. So for that let me do this, and yeah, what we are going to do is that we're gonna we are going to put one handler inside this add new button, because we are clicking here. Once we click here, this component swap, right? So we are going to add a handler on this button click, and once this button is clicked, we are going to show this card. Okay, that's the purpose. And for that, we are adding a handler, and that handler name is we can write it create new card. Okay, and we need to define this. So this is basically a function. We need to define that function. Constant create new card equals. So what it will do is that it will set that show card function to true. Set show card to true. Okay, so our main idea is to, if we click this button, we're gonna set the show card flag to true, and once this flag is set to true, we're gonna display this component. That's the main idea. Okay, now we're gonna we need to make that component, and once set card is set to true, show card is set to true, we're gonna show that component. Okay, and from the chat, as Daddy has already put all the files, skeleton files. So I will say you to download the add link skeleton.js file. Add link card skeleton.js. Yes, just download that file, and then go to the source component, source folder. Create a new folder inside the source that will call as components, and then inside this component create a new file called add link card.js. Okay, and then copy paste the code here. Go to the chat, download the add link card skeleton.js file, copy the code from there, and then paste it here. What it does is that it will just create this skeleton. Okay,
so we have to do this for every component, no?
yes.
Okay.
Because it's gonna take a lot of time to build all these CSS.
Yeah.
Through go through these CSS step by step. So I'm just copy pasting them.
Perfect.
Okay, and I thought I forgot to describe about this component. Whatever we copy pasted, I will go through that really fast. So what we did here is that we imported, this one is just for the React hooks. We imported these 4 components from design, avatar, image, button, and input, and we imported these icons from the design icons. Okay, so we can just use them inside our app. Okay, and then we inside the return we define a container. Inside the container we define a row, as you can see here. So this is basically everything is a container and everything is a single row, and inside the row we do have column 3 on the left, column 3 on the right, that's empty, blank, and then we are working with column 6 on the middle. So we are working with 12 column greedy style from CSS. Okay, so we can see here container, inside container, a single row, and then we have these col-md-6 column in the middle, and then we left 3 column on the left and 3 column on the right as blank. And then we put the padding as 3 for this component, okay? And then we put the background color as this one, that is kind of yellow, this one. You can see on our application, okay. And minimum height is 600 pixel. And inside that we do have a row, okay. So this row is this one, above the add new link button, okay. And we define, we again divide that row into column 3 and then column 9, and we are putting after on the column 3, and then we are putting this link username and these buttons in the column 9. That's what we are doing, okay. Let me see what's happening here. Create new card is not defined, okay. Let me go to this function, create new card, on click, create new card, and then create new card, set show card to true, okay, should be fine. I just need to refresh it. Okay, so that's been done. And then we have a, after this row, column 3, column 9, and then we have add new link button. And that's this one, okay. And then we're gonna display everything on the bottom, okay. And let me put our username as something for now, constant username equals, let me put it Sigdel Vijay, and display that username here in this section, okay. We did that, and I guess you have already copied this add link card component. We will quickly jump on that. Let's not jump on that. I'll just import that component inside the this home file, home component. And for that, let me import add link card from. So we need to go one folder up and then components and then add link card. Okay, that's how we get this component. And we just need to show that component once this add new link button is shown and our show card is set to true. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is that this is how you write the expression in React. If you need to write an expression, you need to put everything inside these curly braces. Okay, you can see it here as well. Everything expression is everything that needs to be calculated. For example, 80, it needs to be calculated. This image, it needs to be calculated. This Sigdel Vijay is okay, I'm not putting Sigdel Vijay, I'm putting username. So username is a variable, it needs to be calculated. So everything that needs to be calculated is an expression, and we need to put every expression inside the curly braces. That's part of the JSX that React uses. So basically this is JSX. We have HTML, we have CSS, and we also have JavaScript inside it. Okay. So if the show card is set to true, and then we're gonna show that add link card component, we are going to show that. Okay. So what this code does is that if both of these show card is true, then it's gonna show this component. Okay. If we click this button, we're gonna if we click this add new link button, we're gonna call this function, and what this function does is that it just set that show card to true, and if that show card is set to true, we'll see this component. Okay, so if we go here, okay, value, we need to put things in the value as well. So what I'm gonna do is that, let me put something for now. Add link card. Okay, let me go to the home. Yeah. And yes. Yeah, let me put something for now. Value I'm gonna put it as title, and then value I'm gonna put it as URL for now. Username is not defined. Home.js line 29. Home.js line 29. So it's username, not username. Okay. Should work. Yeah. Now if I click this button, it said this show card to true and the component will be shown. You can see it here, right? And we have set the value as title and URL, as you can see. See it here. Done? Done. Okay. So what we're going to do now is that we will add some state inside this component. Inside this add link card component, we're going to add some state that will store the title and URL. And once we click on the save button, we will show the save button somewhere here. Once we click on the save button, it will save our data to the Firebase. We're going to do that now. Okay. So for that, let me go to the add link card components. Okay. Yeah. And then I'm going to add two states here. And for that, I need to import the use state hook from React. So import use state from React. Okay. And now I can start writing this state constant. So its first name is title, right? Title, set title. This is the function to modify that state, and use state. And then for the title, I'm going to put it as empty for now. Okay. Similarly, I'm gonna create another state whose name will be URL, and I'm gonna define a function called set URL that will help to modify this URL state, and I will also put it as empty string for default. Okay. And okay, once this is done, now what we want is that we want to set this input value to our state, that is title, and this input value to, I guess it's pretty small, I'm going to make it large, and this title value to URL, this value to URL. Okay, so that if we go here, yeah, if we click on this and then, okay, I'm not able to change it because I haven't defined a function on change function handler, and for that I'm gonna define a onChange handler. onChange. So what this does is that it will call this function. Let me define the function inside itself here. And what it does is that it will set the title to event.target.value. Okay. So what it does is that if we start typing, then the value starts changing. I mean, if we start typing, what it does is that this function will be called, and what it basically does is that it will call this set title function that we define here to modify this state. It will modify the title state. So it will set the title to e.target.value. Whatever we type, it will set it to this state, to the title state. Okay. Now, if I go here and a new link is not defined. Okay, we need to define the E as well. Yes, if we click here and if I start typing, then what it does is that it says the title, right? It says the title, And once the title is set, since the value is set to title, we can see it here. But for this, we can't see it because the value for the URL hasn't been set. Okay. So let me go to the URL input as well, and then put the onChange handler. That will help me to set the URL to whatever I type. Okay. So now let me refresh it. A new link, and similarly you can see I got the value from the state itself. Okay. Now what we are going to do is that if we have both title and state, if we have both title and state, I mean, we are just checking if we have both, we don't have them as empty. If we have both title and URL, then what we are going to do is that we are going to show a save button, this save to tone from the this component from the and design. Okay. Okay. Title and URL. Okay. Okay, it's rolled now. So if we refresh the page, yeah, click a new link, and if we have both title and if we have both the title, if they both of them are non-empty, then we're going to see this save button as well. And if we click on this save button on click, then we're going to run a handler. Okay. What we are going to do is that we are going to save it to the database, Firebase database, right? So for that, we're gonna add handler called handle save, and we need to define this function over here, constant handle save. Save equals, we'll write an arrow function. So what this does,
Excuse me, just where did you do that save to tone and delete to tone? Can you please just show that?
I didn't hear you correctly. Can you repeat again?
Where did you do that save to tone and delete to tone? Just repeat that. Can you please repeat that part?
You mean why I use save to tone and delete to tone?
No. Where did you do it in the code?
Why did I do it?
Where have you used that in code?
Oh, it's in add link card. Add link card. Inside add
Can you just
link.
show that once?
You can't see it now. I'm inside the same file. Inside the add link card, and at the bottom. See here. After the delete to tone.
See, what I want is when you go to that layer, that title and URL, it shows the save button for you, right? But it's not showing the save button for me, as well as the delete. So,
it's not showing. Have you put something in this? Have you put the value inside here?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. Can you share the code?
Yeah, I'll share it in chat.
Or you can share your screen. That will be easy, I guess. Yeah. You can share your screen. Yeah.
Actually, I reformatted my system recently, so it says me to quit and rejoin. So I'll just share the code here.
Okay, in the chat, you mean?
Yeah.
But I can't see anything in the chat. Okay, I see. Delete to tone and then edit outlined. Okay, but you haven't included that save to tone. Let me put it in the let me put the whole file in the chat so that you can copy paste and see. So this is the you can copy paste this code and then have a look. Yeah, Rosan.
Yeah, one moment.
Okay, you can copy paste the code and have a look. And also for everyone, if you are not able to follow with me, I'm just copy pasting the code. And so this is for the first one is for the link card. Okay, and the
Yeah,
second
it's
one
working for me now. Thank you.
working now. Okay, that's great. And second is for the home.js. Let me copy paste the code.
BG, can I share my screen?
Yep, go on, Sam.
So you can see my screen?
Yes.
It shows me this error when I start
Oh,
run
can't resolve. Okay. Oh, okay. So what you need to do is that can't resolve / images profile. Okay. Is that profile .jpg? I think you put profile /jpg. Just go.
Oh, okay.
That's
So
it.
it's the images one.
Yes.
Oh, it's
Go.
the pathway. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Go to the home and then where you are inputting the profile. I guess it's in the top somewhere.
Let me check.
Yes, on that.
Oh,
Yes. That should be the reason.
okay. Thanks. Okay.
Working now?
Yeah, it's starting. Yeah, it's happening. Yeah, I will let you know if there is anything.
Yes. Let me know.
Okay.
So you are able to follow with me, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. That's great. Okay, let me share the screen and then go over here. Okay, so okay, we're gonna add show card. You were inside add link card, right? Yes. So if both we have both title and URL ready, then we will be showing this save to tone button, and once we click on this button, we're gonna run this handler and we're gonna save our data in the Firebase. That's what we're gonna do now. And for that, we need to import Firebase from this firebase.js file that we created before. Okay, so go to the add link card and then we need to import the Firebase. Okay, Firebase. Just a second. Yeah. Okay, now I'm going to import the Firebase from /Firebase. Yes, from this file. And then, okay. Okay, rather than that, what I'm going to do is that I think it's better to import the Firebase in one file and then link to that particular links database on the same file and then send it to every other component as props. So I'm going to do that rather than importing everywhere. But for the time being, I'm just going to put it here itself. So what I'm going to do is that I will go to the home component. I will import Firebase over here. And then what I will do is that I will constant links. I'll define it to you just now. What I'm doing is Firebase dot database dot and then ref links. So what we are basically doing is that how Firebase works is that Firebase is document, so it has everything in JSON document. You can call it like a table, but everything is under one JSON. Everything is under one table. So what we are doing here is that we are importing the Firebase so that our this application connects to the remote Firebase. Okay, and then what we are doing is that we are connecting to this links database in the Firebase. Okay, so that we can use it. That's how the real-time database works. Okay, now what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna send this links ref to my component as props. Links ref. Okay. Also, I'm gonna send the username as well. For now, I'm just sharing the links ref. Okay. So what we are doing is that we import the Firebase config, and we use this code. What it really does is that it will connect to the Firebase database and to the links table. We haven't created it yet, but what it will do is that it will create an empty links objects once we save our database, once we save data to our database. Okay, so what we are doing is we make that connection to the Firebase, and now we are sending that as props. So this is a component. Add cart is a component that we created just before, and we are sending this links ref as props. Okay, and how we access that props is that we go to here, we destructure it. Okay, and then links ref will be available here. This is how we get the props from another component. So home is our parent component, and add card is our child component. And how React data in React flows is that always from parent to child component. So parent component, they can send data to child component in props. That's what we are doing. Okay, and we are accessing the data from the child component. Okay, and since I already have the connection with that links object in the database, now what I can do is that links ref dot, what I'll do is that links ref dot child, I'm going to put a child, and what child I'm going to put is that, let me also send username from this parent component to the child component, because we already have username defined here. Let me put that as props as well, username. Okay, so I'm also sending username as props, and then I can access it in the child component as username. Okay, and what I'm doing is that in the links ref, in the links object, what I'm doing is that I am putting a child by the name of username. Okay, and then inside that I am updating my data. So what my data is going to be is, my data is going to be it's going to be just ID, title, and URL. Okay, and also one more thing, I also like to put that inside a I think it's a bit confusing for you. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to create one object called key. So what it does is that it connects to that links ref database. I mean that object. Okay, links ref dot, and then it will create a empty record with the key name of username, means Sigdel Vijay for our case. Okay, and then I'm gonna push one key. So what it does is that inside the links ref object, you will see that in the Firebase console later on. Links ref, it's gonna create one key value as our name, means Sigdel Vijay, and then it's going to push one key. It's a random key. It's gonna push, and inside that key, we're gonna push our data. That's what we are going to do. And what data we are going to push is in the ID. We are going to push in the ID. We are going to push the key, and then in the title we are going to put the title, and then in the URL we are going to put the URL. Okay, and now all we need to do is yeah, that's it. Now it should work. So we do have different options. For example, let me put as FV, and then if I click the save, then if we go over to our Linktree new application in the Firebase real-time database, okay, it's still not. Let me go to it. Let me see if stupid Linktree. Okay, let me see if the data we have correctly configured the database URL. Let me go to firebase.js file, database URL. And then let me see if I have correctly configured it. Database URL. Okay, Linktree, and it should work. Database URL https Linktree new. Copy paste it again, and then paste it over here. Okay, and go to our page. Database Firebase database.ref links done, and then go to the add link card and links ref. Okay, the child, are we passing it as links ref? Links ref control T. Okay, we are passing it as links ref, and then links ref dot child, the name of username, and then push the key. Links ref dot child username dot child key dot update should work. And let me see. It's not uploading. Okay, I should be having some problem on the. Okay, cannot access key before initialization. Okay, so constant key equals. Okay, constant key equals links ref dot child username dot push key, and then we have constant new link. Let me create that, then put it as, I'm gonna put everything inside it. Okay, and then I'll just update. Yeah. Push. Okay. Okay. So I did the mistake over here. What I need to do is that I need to put it as dot key, not key inside the push. Okay. And then child key dot update new link. So it should work now. If I go to the website, click on add new link, put it as FB, and then save it, and then go to the Firebase console. Now we can see here. So now it should be clear to you. In the home, we make a connection to a links object that's not existing until now, but it will exist once we start saving data to the database. Okay, and then we pass it as props to add link card component. Okay, we pass it as props to add link card component, and in the add link card component, what we did is that we in the links ref to that particular object, we add the child as our username. We can see here child as our username. Why we are doing this is that after one we can have multiple user profile on the same database. For example, I can have mine, I can have Navin, I can have Roshan's on the same database. And if I put everything, then I need to go through the whole JSON structure and then search through it. Okay, so rather than doing that, what I am doing is that I'm putting everything under my key name. Okay, so I'm putting it under Sigdal BJ and then pushing a new key. So what it does is that under the Sigdal BJ, it will add an empty record. Okay, and as you can see here, it will add an empty record, and under that empty record, it will update the new object with ID, title, and URL. It will add an empty record, and under that empty record, it will add ID, title, and URL. Okay, so if I go to the website now and then add another link, okay, it's not working. Okay, let me go through it again. And so it's done, right? And okay, so we haven't made we made how to save this particular card, but we haven't read the data from the database and then show it in other cards. Okay, so for that we go to the home component. Okay, and we need to add another component that is just to have other components here, and it will be clear later on. Didi, can you drop edit card skeleton in the chat, please?
Yeah, sure.
Hi, can you put that handle save code in the chat?
Yes, yeah.
Thank you.
I will put everything inside the chat just now. I'm gonna put home chat home put save. What's the reason?
Excuse me, when you
Yeah.
copy paste the whole code here in the chat box, it shows a bunch of stars, but not the code.
Bunch of what?
Stars, like the asterisk symbol.
Can you share that? And I'm gonna add the handle code as well. Yeah.
I've put it in the chat box. This is what I see.
Oh yes. Okay. So here is the handle shape code for Acita, I guess.
Yeah, got it. Thank you.
Okay. And Roshan, what was the question?
No, I just said when you copy paste the whole code here, it just shows asterisk symbols and not the code.
Oh, okay. That's not the code. What I can do is that I can drop in the whole file as well.
I don't want the file actually. Yeah, but I have the entire code with me. Just saying it's showing like that. That's all.
Ah, okay. So is everything running on your side? Are you able to follow up with me?
Yeah. I'm on the same page as you.
Oh, okay, then that's fine. Should be fine. Then we save it, and where is that? Okay, now we save it. We also want whatever we have saved in the database, we want to pull that and display it here. Okay, so for that we are going to create another component called edit link card. And for the sake of time, it's better if you can download the edit link card skeleton file from the chat. Can you drop a new one?
Pardon, which file?
Edit link card skeleton.js.
Okay,
file.
I will drop it again.
Yeah.
No worries. Yeah, here we go.
Yep. So just download that file and then put it inside the edit link card.js file. Paste it here. And yeah, that should be it. And again so how I'm gonna use this is that I'll go to the home, and what I'll do is that I will use this use effect hook now. So what does use effect hook does is that we can run it based on our requirement, but so when we can run it is that we can run it before anything is displayed in the screen. We can run it whenever there is change in some state, and also before any component unmounts or leaves the DOM. Okay, that's how we can control the use effect hook. I'm going to use it and show it to you. How we use effect hook is that use effect. Okay, so it will have a function inside it, and then we'll have an array. This is just to control, so how we are going to control it. Okay, so if we put just an empty array, then what it does is that it will just run before anything is displayed, before this component renders anything. It runs for just one time. If I put it title, what it does is that this use effect, whatever we put inside the use effect, it will run before the component mounts. So at the start of the page, and then whenever there is change in the title, this use effect hook will run. Okay, so for now I'm just removing this title and then making the use effect hook. Okay, and for that, what I'm gonna do inside use effect hook is that I'm gonna use one constant. Let me call it as loaded links. This will be the array of links from the database. And what I'm going to do is I do have Firebase already here, and then connection to that links table as well here, right? So what I will do is that links ref, I will connect to that links document from the Firebase. Okay, and then inside that document I will look for username with Sigdal BJ for my case, and then I'll look for that and then I'm gonna add a listener. Okay, and that listener name is child added. So whenever a new child is added to that particular node, then this listener will run, and it will get back the data in this snap object. Okay, it will get the data inside the snap object, and yeah, and then we're gonna push whatever we get inside the loaded links array, and then we're gonna set the links state. That's what we're gonna do. So loaded links dot push, we're gonna push whatever comes in snap.val. Okay, and I can show you what comes here, doing a console.log snap snap.val. Okay, and then I'm gonna set links to, sorry for that, set links to whatever is in the loaded links. I'm gonna spread that and put it inside. Okay, so what I'm doing and why I'm doing, what I'm doing is that I'm just creating an empty array called loaded links, and I'm adding a listener on the Firebase database inside the node username, which is sigdelvijay, as you can see here. So links document, inside that I have this node. So I'm putting a listener on this node. Okay, so whenever a new child is added, it will listen, it will catch that in the snap object, and then what I'm doing is that I'll catch that, I'll load it inside the loaded links array, push it inside it, and then I will set the links to whatever is inside the loaded links array. Okay, that's what I'm doing. And now what I will do is that whenever I have links, what I will do is that I will go through the links and add a map function from the JavaScript. What the map function does is that it goes, for example, links is an array, right? So what the map function does is that it goes through every single component inside, every single element inside that array, and then run the function we put inside that map function. Okay, so what it does is that for each link inside that links array, what it will do is that it will return this. What it's going to return is that it will return this edit link card component. Okay, I'm going to import that component on the top. Import edit link card from /components /edit link card, and I'm going to use it. I'm going to import it here. Yes, and then I'm going to send the link as props. Got it? So what I'm doing is that first, before anything happens on the page, I am listening to the Firebase database on this particular sigdelvijay node. And then whenever, so what it does is that it runs once and it gets back whatever is there. And whenever we add new data to this node, again it will run and then put it in the loaded links. And whenever there is a new data in the loaded links, we are putting it inside the set, inside this links state. Okay, so we are doing it once at the beginning, and whenever we add a new node, whenever a new node is added to this sigdelvijay, this particular object, then we are again changing the set links. Okay, changing the state links. Okay, and what we are doing here is that in the interface part, whenever there is a links and let's put it links.length. Since it is an array, whenever the links.length is greater than 0, then what we are doing is that we are running a map function for each links inside it, for its link inside that links array, and then we are returning this edit link card component, and we are sending link as props. So whatever is returned from this edit link card component, this one will get inside here. And so it happens for every link. Okay, that's it. And then we have sent the link here. So let's get the link from the props, and the value we can put link dot
Can you please just show the home.js for a second?
home.js? Yeah. You mean this part? I will paste this.
Yes,
part.
and then
The other one.
The import area.
Okay. I'm gonna. Is it okay if I copy paste everything?
Just show the import part of it.
Just show the import part. Okay. Just
If you copy paste, I think if there's anything missing in between, you can get it.
Yeah. Okay. I'm not sure why I'm not able to paste in the chat. Let me see. Okay. I'm not able to paste everything inside the chat. So for the time being, I'll just paste this.
BJ, or you can just drop the file, entire file. I mean,
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can do that as well. Just let me put it inside desktop. Okay, where is it? Inside desktop. Then I have Linktree. Is it? Yeah, Linktree new. Then I have source. Pages. Okay, home and profile. I'm gonna drop that. And then I'm gonna go to the components and I'm gonna drop that. That's all, I guess. Yeah. You want to go to the import part, right, Rosen? Yes, it is here, Rosen.
Yeah, it's done. Thank you.
Okay. You can just, I have dropped all the files. You can copy paste the code from the file and let me know if you have any problem. Okay. And inside the edit, now let's go through it. Inside the edit, what we are going to do is that, okay, we are having both the edit. Okay, inside the value, I have the problem. I can put that as, okay. So the edit. Let me remove this file. Let me remove this file as well. Firebase, we don't need it. Add link card, and log, we don't need it. And app, we don't need it. Home, edit link card. Okay. So what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna make two state here, and for that I will need use state hook as well. So I'm gonna make two state, one for title and one for URL equals use state. And let me put it as the default value as link dot title, whatever I get inside this link. And let me okay, this should be set title, and this should be URL and set URL. Okay, and whatever I get from the URL, I'm gonna paste it here. Okay. And inside the value, I'm gonna put the title, and then here I'm gonna put the URL. So what I'm doing is that in the home component, I run this, I displayed this component for every link, right? For all the links I have, I go through the map function and display this component for each link, right? And then I'm passing this link as props. So I capture that link as props from the parent component, and I'm setting the title and URL to link.title and link.url, and I'm setting the value for the input buttons. Okay, that's what I'm doing now. And I'm gonna change, I need to add the onChange handler as well. And for that, I'm gonna do a set title e.target value. Similarly, I'm gonna add the onChange handler for the URL as well. And I'm gonna set URL to e.target value. Yeah, that's it. Use state is not defined, so I need to import use state from React for this, because I'm using these states inside the functional component. Import use state from React. Okay, and what else do I need? I don't have card input, and input is not defined. Okay, let me import those as well. Import card. So these are from the and design. Input from and design. Okay, should be working now. Only find is not a function. Okay. Okay. Okay, so what we have now is that before the component mounts, the use effect hook, you can see here, it has already run. It grabs the data from the database. It sets the links using this set links method that we define here. And whenever we, this links array is not empty, we're gonna map each link inside that links array. And then we're gonna render it inside the edit link card component. And what edit link card component does is that it's gonna render a card. Okay, what is inside this card is that it has one input, another input, and a delete button. Okay, that's what it's been showing here. So it has already been rendered. And now if I add a new link, then I have this. And now if I add, for example, Instagram and Instagram, and then I save it, I do have, as you can see here, I do have this data from, it's already being stored in the Firebase console. You can see it here. Instagram is already been saved. And since we add a add a listener inside the home in this use effect, so it's already it's always listening if a new child is added. And once the new child is added, it updates the links, it set the links, and once there is new link, again the component is going to re-render. It will go through for every link, it will display using the edit link card, and component is going to re-render. That's what is happening here. Okay, that's what is happening here. And now what else do we need? So we have, okay, once this is saved, we want to hide this as well. Okay, so for that, what we can do is that inside the link, okay, edit outlined and link card, inside the add link card, once it's been saved inside the handle save, what we can do is that we can set this show card flag to false again. Okay, so for that we need to send this show card flag, because this is in home component and we are doing everything in add link card component. We are saving the file from the that data from add link card component. So we need to pass this show card flag to add link card component, and when we save the data over there, then we can save the flag from there itself. Okay, so for that we are, where is the add link card component? Okay, it's here. We are also sending this set socard function as props. Okay, so we are also sending this set socard function as props, and inside the addLink card we are going to catch it, set socard, and once we save the database, we're gonna set that socard flag to false. Okay, so what happens is that it's taking a lot of time just to load. Okay, so it already has two, and those are from the Firebase console. We have two data over there, two links over there. And if I do add new link, this component is going to render. And let me put LinkedIn, and if I save it, then that component is being hidden, and we are getting the link component from the database itself. Okay, that's the thing. And what else do we need? So we need to remove the component whenever we click this delete button, right? Okay, so for that, we go to our home. It's in home component. No, it's in edit link card component. And here we need to add one more handler. We can say that handler as anything. Let me call it on click equals handle delete. Okay, and I'm gonna add that function over here, constant handle delete. Handle delete equals, so what it is going to do is that it will just, we already have okay, we don't have link refs over here. Let me pass it from home. Let me pass this links ref from home to edit link card component as well as we did to the add link card component. Links ref as props. I'm passing it as props, and go to edit link card and catch the props. Links ref. Okay, and then I'm gonna use it over here. Okay, so links ref is just it's just connection to that links object. Okay, and links ref dot child, with child username. Again, we need to pass the username as well from the home. Let me pass the username as well. Username name equals user name. No, sorry, name. Okay, I'm also passing the username, and let me go to edit link card, catch that as props. Name. What we are doing is that we are not deleting that whole Sigdal Vijay node. We are just deleting one particular data inside that node, right? So links ref, inside the links object, we access the username row node, that is Sigdal Vijay for now, and then we're gonna remove. Okay, then we're gonna remove, which child we're gonna remove? We're gonna remove the child with, because we need to remove a particular child, right? For example, if we go here, we are inside the Sigdal Vijay node, and we're gonna remove one particular child. And which child is it? Either this child or this child. Sorry. Either this child or this child. Okay, And I can, so this is one link we have, this is one link we have. So what I can do is that, and this ID and this ID are the same. That's what we did while saving. So we can access it. And so what we are doing is that inside the links array inside here, let me go to home. Inside the links, we have objects like this, one link and then one link, object to object. So inside each object, we have ID, title, and URL. So we'll be accessing this particular ID to delete this whole node. Okay, that's what we'll be doing. So we go to edit link card, linksref.child username signalvj.child, which link? It's from the link.id, because its link has its ID as well, and that ID and the node ID is the same, so that we can delete the node using this ID. And the child.remove, and that's it. So if we go to our, is it running? Okay, it's running. If you go here and then delete it, delete fv. Let me refresh it first. Okay, fv is deleted. If I delete another, okay, we add the listener on child edit. If a new child is added, we have the listener to listen to that, but we don't have a listener to listen if a child is removed. Okay, so we need to add a listener for that as well. And what we're gonna do is that we're gonna add a new card, and no, we're gonna add another functionality. Let me, yeah, okay, let me add another functionality, another listener, linksref.child username inside this particular node. And what it's gonna listen is that if a child is removed, then it's gonna listen. Okay, snap, we get the data as a snap. And then what we're gonna do is that loaded links is our array of links. So what I'm going to do is that loaded links equals loaded, I'm going to use the filter loaded links dot filter, and I'll describe it just now. For each link, what I'm doing is that if link dot, each link has an ID not equals to snap dot key, snap dot key, then I'm going to return that, and then I'm going to set its links to dot loaded links. Okay, so what I'm doing here is that whenever a child is removed from our Firebase database, we are setting a listener, so it will listen whenever a child is removed. Whenever a child is removed, it will return a snap object, and this snap object, we are listening to a child node. As you can see here, we will be listening to this child node, to signalvj. Okay, whenever a node is removed, we get the data in the form of key and value pair. Key is going to be this data and value is going to be this data. Okay, so what we are doing is loaded, we are using a filter method from JavaScript. Okay, so what it does is that for each update object inside the loaded links, because we already have loaded links from whenever a child is added, whenever the page loads for the first time, we already have all the links from the database inside the loaded links array, right? Okay, we already have everything inside the loaded links. So what we are doing is that now whenever a child is added, removed from the database, we are going through every element inside this loaded links array. Okay, every link inside it, and if that link ID is equal to this deleted node ID, then we are not gonna return that. That's what we are doing. Okay, so what it does is that whichever element, whichever link meets this condition is going to return. So whenever a link.id, that particular link ID is not equal to deleted link ID, then it will return. Okay, so basically we are we are returning everything except that deleted node ID, except that deleted node. And then we are setting it to the links. Now the links has been set. And once there is a change in a state, what React does is that whenever there is change in state and props, React DOM re-renders. Okay. So since there is a change, when a child is removed, this listener is listening. Okay. And when this listener finds that a child is removed, it is setting a new link to this links state. And whenever there is change in this state, the React DOM re-renders and it will update the DOM. So you can see here, let me see. Okay, I'm adding a new link called ins save. So this child edit listener is running now. Okay, and then it update the DOM, change the state of the DOM, update the DOM. Now when I remove one, okay, let me refresh it again. What's the problem over there? I'm having a problem. Let me see. Okay, the problem is assignment to constant variable. Okay, let me sorry for that. These let and const are JavaScript variables, I would say, and we for the const we can reassign it. For example, what we did is that we put loaded links as a const variable, and then we reassign it here, which JavaScript doesn't allow. So that's why we get the error. And if we change it to let, then it will work. Okay, a new link ends, and then I can save it. A new link, let's see, a new link, happy, and then I save it, and it's here. And when I delete it, okay, now, so what is happening is that I guess, okay, I missed something. Okay, so what is happening is that if I add a new link, it's one of the problem that we get when we are working on React. Okay, fv and ins are added, but if I delete ins, it's the fv that is being deleted. That's being shown. Why is it working like this? Is that React assign each component a new index, and these index are usually in the form of that 1 2 3 4 5, and if there is no consistent change on those index, then the problem appears. So it's always better to, whenever we are mapping any array, it's always best to put our own index. And how we can put that is that we can put it using, okay, using the key attribute. Okay, before that it was like I'm assigning key to just index that I can get from over. Basically what React was default doing is that it was assigning index as the key. Okay, and that's how React knows each component that has been rendered. It assigns a key to each component that has been rendered, and that's how it knows which component has changed, which component with which key has been changed. Okay, and this index is not consistent, so it's always better to put our own key index. So for now, what I'm doing is that I'm putting link.id as the key, because link.id is always, it's unique, right? It's unique and it's not going to change randomly. Yes. So if you go here, now if I add the new link and then send ints and then delete, for example, fv is being deleted, not the ints, right? So that's the problem we're having, and now it's been solved. And I guess So everything is almost done. What else? Okay, let's just add a profile page and display the files, and we will deploy it to the Firebase. Okay, so for the profile, Dedi, can you drop the profile skeleton.js file? Dedi, can you drop the profile skeleton.js file?
Yes, I have. Yes.
Yep. Sorry guys, it's taking a lot of time because we are developing something quite big, not too big, quite big. And okay, let me, if you want this use effect, let me drop everything again on the
what you can do is at the end, because I was
Yep.
following the links.
Yep.
You can share that the project in a drive or some or
Yeah.
GitHub.
Yeah, I can do that. Okay.
That
So
should be fine.
you are following. You are able to follow, right, Avinash?
Yeah, I was following, and somewhere if I have missed, I get the error. I was
Yeah.
not able to focus on both, so I was only listening to,
Oh, okay. No worries.
looking at the code. So
Okay. So now what we can do is that Didi. Okay, he has already dropped the profile skeleton.js. Just download this profile skeleton.js and okay, just download profile skeleton.js file and then create a new page called profile. No, we already have created one. Go to, if you haven't, go to, oh, it's already there. Then it's, let me see if I have
Yes.
something to do it. No, that's fine. That's fine, Didi. Okay, we have already used it. Let me load /profile/ let me go through it. Okay, we haven't done anything. Where does this code coming from? Oh, okay. What is happening here? I'm not able to open the profile.js file. Is it already been opened? Now let me close everything and then open it. Sorry, my computer is a bit hanged. I'm gonna close it and open it again. Linktree new. I hope you can see it over here. Yep. And then npm start. Okay, there is something wrong. Source. Okay, I do have public source. Okay, let me go to the ls cd linktree npm start, and then go to the profile.js file. Okay, so what I'm going to do is that I will just put everything from the profile skeleton. Okay, and it's not going to take a lot of time, I hope so. And then what I'm going to do is that go to okay, so in the profile as well, I will need both use effect and use state hooks. Use state, use effect, hooks from React. Okay, not from React Redux, from React. And then what else? Avatar image button I have. And then I will also need, in the profile, I will need to grab the data from the local, I mean the Firebase database. So constant, I'm gonna create a state called links, set links, and then use state, and then use it as empty array for the first, and then links ref. Okay, I'm gonna use the links ref, and for that I will also need Firebase, import Firebase from Firebase, and then I'm gonna use links ref as I did before, equals to Firebase dot database dot ref links. Okay, and once that is done, I'm gonna use run a use effect hook as I did here in the home page. I'm gonna just copy paste that code so that I'm not repeating. And what I need to do is that I don't need to listen it all the time, so I'm just putting it once listener. So what once does is that it just listen once. Okay, and then I'm putting, I don't need this as well, loaded links. I don't need this as well. I don't need this as well. I'm putting everything directly, setting everything inside the links. Dot 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 snap dot val, sorry, dot val. Okay, and it also comes in key value pair, and I need only the values. So object dot values snap.val. Let me show you doing console log so that you are clear why I'm doing this. Snap snap.val. Okay, that's it. Now we are done with the snap. Okay, and we just need to show it somewhere. Okay, now let me show you running this profile. Whenever we run the profile, if we see on the console, what it does is that it will run the use effect hook, and then it will get everything, not the child edit, it is just the value. Okay, and it will get everything and set it inside the links. So what does it guess, and why we are destructuring and getting only the values is that, let me refresh it, it will be clear. Okay, why it's not loading? Am I running it? Okay, run. In the meantime, okay, should be running. Sometimes it takes a lot of time just to load the data. And in the meantime, what I'm doing is that I will see if the links have greater than the length of 0. Then what we do is that we again use the same map reduce function. We go through every link inside the links array, and for each link we will be returning a new component, not component, let's return just a button from and design. And what this button does, okay, source, it's not taking the source. Okay, what is the source? The source is, let me import the profile from our profile from dot slash images slash profile dot jpeg. done. Now it will load the profile as well. And then inside here, for every link, what we are doing is that we are showing the link.title. Okay, and we are, and let me copy paste some code from home button. So what we are doing is that class name equals, okay. So as you can see here, okay, can't resolve Firebase in source pages. Let me see. Firebase import. It's not from Firebase. It's from /Firebase, right? And it should be working now. You see, username is not defined. Where is the username? Okay, username is here, and I guess where we are gonna, okay, how we can catch the username is that we'll catch the username from, we will send something like this /sigdalbj/username, and then we'll catch the username from props. Okay, so to catch that, we can get that functionality from the browser router, that as you can see here in the index.js file, we have embedded everything in the browser router, and browser router provides a lot of functionality. And one of the functionality it provides is that it also helps us to catch the params from the URL. Okay, and maps. So we're gonna so how we can catch the params is that is this way: constant the username equals maths.params.username. That's how we can catch whatever we send on the URL. Okay, that's it. And then we need to modify something for that. If we go to app.js file, what we are doing is that if /profile comes, then we are loading this profile component, right? So what I'm gonna do is that if // slash and then something, if we want to something put something in the param, then that's how we put something in the param. Okay, so if there is /profile and then something in the param, then we are gonna load the profile, and this username is going to be our username. And whenever someone comes with localhost 3000 /profile/sigdalbj, then it's gonna what the profile component will do is that profile component will use the maths from browser router. It will catch that sigdalbj username from the URL params. Okay, and then it will use that to get the data from that username node from the Firebase console. Okay, that's what we are doing, and once it's set, then it will be available. Let me show you. If I go here, okay, I have only Instagram, so let me see how many I have. So I have only one object, and that is Instagram. That's why I'm seeing that object, that only that link. Okay, and now if I click on here, it does nothing. So for that, what we can do is that we can wrap this button. Let me make it bigger. We can wrap this button inside the a tag. Okay, inside the a tag, and we'll put href equals something like this. What we're gonna put in the href is that https. We need to put https, otherwise it's not gonna open the new tab. And if we don't put the https, what it does is that what it does is that it will append that into our local app. For example, if I'm running HTTP localhost 3000 port, and if I click on this button, then what it will do is that it will open https localhost 3000 / https www.facebook.com, and that page doesn't exist, right? So for that sake, we need to add https and then 2::, and then we will add this link.url. So we have the link from the use effect. We have all the links, and then we are using that link from here and setting it here over here. Okay. And then what's wrong over here? Okay. Okay. And then we are putting this button inside the link. We are doing this is that we are making it a link. We are making it a clickable button. And then, as I said before, we need to assign a key for each render in the React. And how we are going to do that is that key equals to, we're going to assign a unique key, otherwise React automatically assigns that local index, and that's inconsistent. Okay. And then to open it in a new browser, I mean new tab, we need to put the target as blank. Okay. Now if I go to SQLBase, let me first put go here, and then add a new valid link. Let me say fbfacebook.com, and then put it as www.facebook.com, and then save it. Okay. And then if I go to profile / what's the username? The username is SQLBJ, right? And if I do that, then it shows 2. And if I click on this app v, then it's going to open a new, on the new tab, it's going to open the Facebook. That's what it does. Okay. And yeah, that's it. We are done with the app. Now all we need to do is deploy the application so that we can share it with the friends as well, with our friends as well. And let me, all right, yes. Yes. What I will do is that I will put everything in the finding folder, in Finder. I'll put everything in the chat so that you can follow through later on. And then I'll go on link 3, and then go to source, go to pages. I'll put that on the chat. I will also go to the components, put that in the chat. And then what else do we have? That's it. Pages, we have 2 components, we have 2, and then let me put app.js as well in the chat. And then let me put index.js in the chat as well, so that you can upload it in the Firebase. Okay. And once this is done, now all we need to do is we need to set up the Firebase. And for that, let me put on this. Okay, let me put on this close this application, and then run npm run build. Okay. And in case I have the design, Yeah. So what we're gonna do is that we're just gonna deploy it to the Firebase, and for that we need to build all the files we have developed. And to run the build, we just run this command npm run build. Okay. Done. Yeah. As everything is done, and for that, first you run npm run build. Control A. You need to run a set of commands, and then run once the file is built. So what does npm run build does is that it makes the project ready. It will compress the it makes a bundle of the project so that it's ready to be deployed to the production. Okay. And mine is still running. Just type npm run build on your console, and once it is built, it's taking a lot of time. It's taking a lot of time. And if your npm has already been built, I mean, if your package has already been built, just run this npm install firebase-tools, and then you need to run firebase init. And then it will ask you for some questions. I don't know why it's taking a lot of time. Let me close. Is there anything? Close this. I don't need that. I don't need that. I don't need that as well. I might need that. Making some space free for my computer. Has anyone been able to successfully build the package? I mean the application?
Yeah, I've built the application. It's just running the tools now.
Oh, okay. It's taking a lot of time on my end. Let me cancel it now. It's responding, but it's taking a lot of time. What about Avinash? Are you able to?
I'm just following you now.
Okay.
I'll configure later because I was getting some other errors I was looking for, so I'll do
Okay.
it.
What about Stain?
Just found out an error when I copied from your code.
Yeah.
Actually, your image is JPEG, so I had to change with mine. So I'm just doing that thing. Yeah, let's see then after that.
Okay. I don't know why it's taking a lot of time. Let me restart it. Okay, npm run build. And what about Rosen?
I got an error.
Okay.
But, I'll look into it later. So you continue with that Firebase.
Okay. And sorry, I can't see the name. Oh my God, it's taking a lot of time just to build the application. Okay, so what I will do is that, because it's taking a lot of time just to build my application, once you run npm run build, it will make the bundle for the application. Then you need to install the Firebase tools globally. You can run that using this command in the chat, and then you run Firebase init. Okay, and in the Firebase init, what you need to do is that you need to select what are the things you want to install. What it asks is that uh, why is it taking a lot of time? Okay, let me share you one. Okay, let me close the whole, then restart it. Training. Then npm run ls cd link tree new npm run build. Yeah, let's see if now it works. Optimized production build. And once you run Firebase init, it will ask you what are the options you want to select. And to select that, just you need to press the space tab, and you select Firebase database and hosting. Okay. And once that is done, it will ask you which project to choose. And for that, okay, I don't think you have already logged in as well. I think we need to log in first. Before the Firebase init, just run Firebase login and log in with your username and password, and then do Firebase init. Okay, now I'll show you. Now what we do is that mine is deployed. I have already installed Firebase, these Firebase tools. So what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna quickly do Firebase login, Firebase login, and I guess I'm already logged in. Otherwise, it will ask you to log in, and you can log in with your username and password for the Firebase console, and then do Firebase login before Firebase init. Okay, and then you do Firebase init. Okay, and what it's gonna do is that it will ask you for different things. So I need a real-time database, and for that I will just need to go up and down with this up and down arrow key, and then select it with this space. So I'm selecting real-time database, and I also need hosting, and I will set the first one, configure files for data Firebase hosting. Okay, I'm going to select that with this space and then click enter. And it asked me for please select an option. I will select use an existing project, and then it will give me a name. So for that, what I'm going to choose is that Linktree new, right? Yes, I have a lot, and I'm going to choose Linktree new, right? Yes. so that Linktree new is the application I just made before when we were going through everything in the Firebase console. Okay. And what files should be used for real-time database security rules? Database rules.json. What do you want to use your public directory? Put it as your build folder and rewrite all URLs to index.html, single page app. What should I select for this? Let me see. Okay, you put it as yes, and then set up automatic build and deploys with GitHub. You put it as no, and then build index.html already exists. Overwrite and write it down. And yeah, that's it. That's it. And then you do Firebase deploy. Okay. And once you do Firebase deploy, it will deploy the application to the Firebase hosting. And it will provide us the URL as well. So it has provided me this URL. If I copy this URL and then put it over here, and then I can see the website is ready. And then I can share it with you as well. In the chat, I can share it with friends, and you will be able to access it from anywhere. Okay, that's it. And I can also go to, but rather than that, I will go to profile, Sigdel BJ. That's what my username is. And I'll share these. Okay. Rather than sharing the home page, I will share that one. And also to let you know, I haven't implemented the routing and Redux part because it's gonna make the application more and more complex, and it's gonna take a lot of time. And we are already 3 hours into the event, so I omit that part. And so everything works except the routing and the login system, and there is no private routing, so everybody can go to this. Anyone can go to this profile and then edit my www.instagram.com, and they can edit it. Okay, that's the thing. And yeah, that's it. And let me go to the slides. And I'm also happy to put everything in the, I have already committed this code on the GitHub. Okay, I'm happy to put it on the chat so that you can clone that project from the GitHub and set it up on your end. And that code, that GitHub link, let me so clear quickly. Okay, it's, let me put it in the chat. More chat. Yes. So this is the GitHub link. You can go to this link and access the project from there as well. And that's it. So we built these 2 pages, and it's working. We deployed it. And Thera?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, and continue. Should I stop the sharing?
No, it's fine. I need you to hear.
Okay.
All right. Well done, everyone. So yeah, so you guys have a chance to also win the gift card by just posting your application on the social media platform and put a hashtag, hashtag learn with DSC with you. Now, I kind of want to tell that We also have position open for secretary and treasurer. So if you feel and want to share your knowledge and want to have some experiences, you can use this opportunity to take on this position. Or if you know someone who's suitable for this position, you can also refer them to us. Though this position is only available for current Victoria University students. Finally, well done and thank you everyone for participating in this Advanced React.js and Firebase database event. We've come this far and had some fun together through this long session. If you have any questions or anything regarding to our club, you can contact us with these social media links. I'm gonna be pasting this in the chat so everyone can use it.